speaker is Jade Wren. Jade is in the unique position in this country where, because she's trans and also a lesbian, she's forced between either having her gender legally recognised or being married. She kind of has the right to do both. So I'd like to welcome Jade Wren, who is also part of Steelfear.
Hi everybody. The first thing I'd like to say is to pass on the support of the Steelfear Sex and Gender Diverse Collective, of which I am a member, for marriage equality. Sex and Gender Diverse is an inclusive of people who identify as intersex, transsexual, transgender, queer and a whole bunch of other marginalised minorities. We suffer the same issues that many of you have under the current marriage law framework. We also suffer a wide range of discriminations, and not being able to marry our partner of choice is just one of the consequences for us because of the marriage laws in this country. Even worse is the requirement to be unmarried, to have your change of identity registered by the various registrars of births, deaths and marriages throughout Australia. If that's not bad enough, if you are married and one partner wishes to have sex affirmation or reassignment surgery, you are required to get divorced if you wish to have the surgeries in most of the states and territories in this country. So it's a gross intrusion into the rights of individuals. My comments today relate to my personal journey with my partner Sandra, who's down in the audience there. As was mentioned in the introduction, I openly identify as a trans woman, and I'm legally married to my partner Sandra. The sex marker on my birth certificate remains unchanged, yet I hold a full Australian passport which shows my sex and gender as female. I am recognised as female by Medicare, New South Wales RTA, the Australian Tax Office, my superannuation company, Centrelink, my bank, but not formally in this country. My birth certificate continues to show my former identity until either I divorce my partner or the law is changed to provide for marriage equality. Recognition of civil unions does not overcome these issues. Marriage equality is the only acceptable outcome for the sex and gender diverse community. I meet all the requirements following my surgeries, but I am prevented from applying for a new birth certificate to reflect my true identity, only because I am married. Quite simply, what the F does marriage status have to do with my sex, apart from the need of some in society to maintain the heteronormative gender binary, not to mention the religious and moralistic right? Equality and freedom from discrimination are fundamental human rights belonging to all people. So said Catherine Branson, President of the Australian Human Rights Commission, in the foreword to 2011 addressing sexual orientation and sex and or gender identity discrimination in that consultant's report. She notes, many trans and intersex people continue to face substantial difficulties in obtaining legal recognition of their sex. And the consultation revealed that different challenges are faced by lesbian, gay and bisexual people on the one hand, and trans and intersex people on the other. Your struggles are our struggles. Our struggles should be your struggles as well. The World Professional Association of Transgender Health in June 2010 released a statement that basically said, no person should have to undergo surgery or accept sterilisation as a condition of identity recognition. Why should the state force us to do things that we may not wish to do? If a sex marker is required on an identity document, that marker could recognise the person's lived gender, regardless of their reproductive capacity. The WPATH Board of Directors urged all governments and other authority bodies to move to eliminate requirements for identity recognition that require surgical procedures. The reality in Australia is that only those who have had sex affirmation or reassignment surgery, or where it can be shown were assigned the wrong sex at birth, are able to have their identity recognised. But provided they're not married. But it doesn't end there. In New South Wales, I am prevented from applying for a recognition certificate to reflect my true identity, again because I am married. This denies me protection as a registered transgender person under the New South Wales anti-discrimination law. So it just keeps getting worse. Acceptance of one's identity goes to the fundamental of one's self-esteem. Low self-esteem is one of the core triggers of depression. We need the federal government to legally establish a sex and gender identity other than the original birth certificate without the requirement for surgical procedures and irrespective of one's marital status. And this requires Australia to show its compassion and provide for marriage equality. Thank you.